The Sharks absolutely cooked with their early offseason additions, making a trade for a goaltender and making a very sneaky signing for a veteran defenseman. In this video, we're going to talk about how big these signings are going to be for the San Jose Sharks and talk about some comments from these players early on in their Sharks career. So you're not going to want to miss this episode of Sharks Digest. But before we dive into everything here on the channel today, we're going to say that 66% of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're a big Sharks fan, want to stay up to date on all the Sharks news in a very busy offseason, make sure down below and hit that subscribe button. But with that said, we got to dive into the early offseason additions that Mike Grier has absolutely cooked with this season. As we've seen, the Sharks have acquired Alex Nedeljkovic from the Penguins in exchange for a 2028 third-round draft pick, and what a steal of a trade this is. Obviously, the San Jose Sharks were going into this season. We knew that Askarov was going to be our guy. He was finally going to get some time in the NHL as a full-time starter after showing some promise late in the AHL and into the AHL playoffs last year, and even during his time in the NHL. And now we go out and get Ned from the Penguins, and everything I've seen here on Twitter from Penguins fans' reaction, they hate seeing this guy go. They love him. He's such a great guy to the Penguins fans themselves, and such a great goaltender as well. And now he comes to a team like San Jose where he's playing probably behind a younger goalie in Askarov, and will be able to mentor him and help him get adjusted to playing his first full season in the NHL. And I do suspect that these guys will split the starts going forward and into the season until one of them kind of takes the crease. But looking at Nedeljkovic's stats here, 38 starts last season with 14 wins, 15 losses, 5 overtime losses, putting a goals against average of 3.12 with an 8.94 and 1 shutout. I mean, these are pretty good numbers. I mean, for what you're getting this guy for a third round pick, this is perfect. You know, like you're not going to get something this good out of a third round pick, at least not for 6 years time. You know what I mean? The pick was in 2028, so by the time that pick does actually develop, we're into the 2030s at that point. So great pickup here by Mike Grier, obviously knowing that we needed a goaltender and not a guy who's going to come in and immediately start either. You need some competition for Askarov to kind of get him going too, and having some friendly competition between goaltenders is definitely the right thing to do here, and this is what we're seeing with this move. I absolutely love it. Nedeljkovic's time at the Penguins was good, but during his time with the Red Wings organization, he was really good as well. And we did get some comments after this trade from Ned, from Curtis Pashelka on Twitter. Great follow if you're a Sharks fan. He said, I didn't really expect the trade to happen, so he's surprised, but he said he's a little bit of a surprise comes with it, but definitely very excited. It's going to be a great opportunity to play some games and also get to work with some new guys, which is what you want to hear out of a guy who's just been traded to your organization. He's excited to play maybe some more games this season than he did last year and just play with this young team, this growing team. A lot of players that had signed here and traded here have been saying that they think there's something special here in San Jose and they want to be a part of it, which is great to hear. And as moving on to something special and other players who want to come here, we're talking about John Klingberg signing a big 1-year, $4 million contract with the San Jose Sharks with a full no trade clause up till January 30th. Then it becomes a 14 no trade list, basically meaning that once that the trade deadline does come and maybe the Sharks do want to trade him to a playoff team, there's going to be all those playoff teams are not going to be on that no trade list. So I like this signing. I'm a big fan of John Klingberg. Yes, there is always question marks surrounding him with his injuries, and he's injury prone in the past, but in the playoffs with the Edmonton Oilers, we've seen him really have a standout performance and show a lot of NHL teams that he can play these big minutes and can play, consistently in the NHL. We just see him play 19 games in the playoffs, and the playoffs are brutal. They're grueling on your body, so it just shows, how good he is, because obviously just a couple seasons ago, he was with the Toronto Maple Leafs and ended up going on long-term IR, and, there's a big ordeal there, but now looking to be back fully healthy and looking to have a full good season with the San Jose Sharks. And looking at his regular season stats last year, he had 4 points in 11 games with 13 block shots, 1.18 blocks per game. This is a two-way guy with a booming shot. And like I said, in those playoffs, it was 12 games in the playoffs where he had 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists, with a big goal actually in the Western Conference Finals. That was a big marker for the Edmonton Oilers getting to the Stanley Cup Final. And he also had 18 hits, 20 blocks in that series as well, or in the playoffs as well. I mean, John Klingberg is a guy who can come in. He can immediately quarterback your offense from the back end and be able to drive plays with his great zone exit passes and his great zone entries. That's just the type of player he is. He can also go in, quarterback a power play as well. We've seen him do that at every team he's been with in his career, whether he either takes the reins of PP1 here in San Jose or PP2. He is going to be a big addition to this team, and I do think that with these additions that Mike Grier has made early on, we're kind of shaping up to be a team that could compete this season, and I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibility, especially adding, some key veterans here. With Klingberg, maybe he's looking to rejuvenate his career so he can get off and get into the playoffs at the deadline, but he will give you his best hockey up until then. And like I said, when you have a guy like him who has such a big booming shot from the blue line, it's only going to help your team out. And looking at some comments from him about signing with the San Jose Sharks, he said it's a great opportunity to come to a younger team that wants to get better. And if I look at myself, I need to play games, and obviously knowing here he can play more games. He obviously said, I think coming to San Jose is a big opportunity to get better and prove I can still play hockey and play big minutes. He said, I think that was one of the key things, knowing that I would get a chance to play big minutes here, not just being in the lineup, but actually playing minutes, which is a big key factor for him coming to San Jose. But he did also talk about the Sharks rebuild as well from Curtis Pichelka. Again, I think they're done the rebuild and now they're just building. They have all the assets there, so that's very exciting. So obviously coming from a NHL player, hearing that he thinks the rebuild is done and now they're just building a playoff team is huge. I mean, the players know the best, right? Like, they know, okay, this team can't compete. This team is scary. We not want to go up against these guys. And I think he's right. I think, obviously, they have their pieces there. They have the Will Smiths, the Eklunds, the Celebrinis, the, Musty's coming up, the Dickinson's coming up, and now Michael Misa. They have so many young talents that now John Klingberg, what he's saying here is they just need to build around those guys, and eventually this team will be cup contenders. And that's why he's so excited to come here, is to try to help get this team back out of the bottom of the Pacific Division and get them up into trying to compete for a playoff spot. So I think that's huge, hearing that coming from such a veteran player in John Klingberg, who's been on a lot of rosters and knows his way around the NHL. I think he's going to be a huge mentor for a lot of the younger defensemen here in San Jose as well. Maybe Sam Dickinson, if he does play this year. I think he's going to be huge for a guy like Shakir Mukhamadullin as well. A lot of these younger guys are going to look up to a guy like John Klingberg, and I think this is huge for just a locker room morale and the on-ice, competition aspect of everything as well. But looking at what we've seen here going into this season with the signings that they've made so far, obviously we see Adam Gaudette, did not mention that in this video either, but it is a big signing. I think he's a great two-way forward. He's really shown some promise in Ottawa and every team he's been on. I think he can really find his footing here in San Jose. There's no doubt about that. Obviously, another guy like Philip Kurashev, who we did acquire as well. I do think he's going to be a key guy to this bottom six and impact a lot of physicality and be a point scorer and an electric guy in that bottom six. Also, like you see here, down here, Klingberg got him paired with Henry Thron here, but that could go go either way. Nedeljkovic as the backup now, and just before I hit record on this video, the Sharks went out and made a big signing in Dmitry Orlov, so we will be getting that video out to you guys either later today, maybe even early tomorrow, but this is a big signing for the San Jose Sharks. Obviously, Dmitry Orlov, a big contract, a contract that brings them up out of the cap floor, but we will have more on that, so if you don't want to miss out our full breakdown on that trade, or on that signing, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss it and you'll be up to date on everything around the San Jose Sharks. Also, leave a like on the video and comment down below who is your favorite acquisition that Mike Grier has made so far this offseason. Love to hear from you guys, but as always, I've been your host, KC. We'll catch you in the next one.